A land where extremes collide, where vast deserts stretch beyond the horizon, mountains pierce the sky, and cities sparkle like constellations in the night. This is Nevada, a place of raw beauty, untamed wilderness, and human ambition that knows no limits. From the silent ghost towns that whisper stories of the past, to lakes shimmering under the desert sun, from mountains that challenge the sky, to cities that never sleep. Nevada is a journey through contrasts, a land of wonder, waiting to be explored. Strap in as we uncover the secrets, the legends, and the breathtaking landscapes of the Silver State, revealing why Nevada is one of the most extraordinary places on Earth. Before the neon lights, before the highways, before the myths of fortune and risk, there was a land shaped by silence, stone, and time. Nevada is often imagined as a place of spectacle, bright cities rising from the desert, but that image barely scratches the surface. Beneath it lies a vast, powerful world, where nature rules with quiet authority, where ancient landscapes stretch farther than the eye can see, and where the American West reveals its raw, untamed soul. Nevada is one of the most rugged and least understood states in America. It is a land of extremes, scorching deserts and snow-covered mountains, endless basins and dramatic cliffs, ghost towns and living cities. More than 80% of the state is public land, untouched and wild, making Nevada one of the most open and expansive places in the country. Here, space itself becomes an experience. As the journey begins, the desert welcomes you not with emptiness, but with presence. The vastness is overwhelming at first. The sky feels impossibly large. The horizon stretches endlessly, uninterrupted by buildings or noise. This is a landscape that demands attention, not through chaos, but through stillness. In Nevada, silence is not absence, it is character. Drive deeper, and the terrain slowly shifts. Jagged mountain ranges rise unexpectedly from flat desert floors, creating dramatic contrasts that feel almost surreal. These ranges are part of the Basin and Range Province, one of the most geologically active regions in North America. Over millions of years, tectonic forces pulled the land apart, shaping the repeating pattern of valleys and mountains that define Nevada today. Ancient lakes once covered much of this land, leaving behind salt flats, dry lake beds, and mineral-rich soils that shimmer under the sun. When light hits these surfaces just right, the desert appears to glow, reflecting the sky in subtle blues, silvers, and golds. It is a reminder that even in harsh environments, beauty finds a way to exist. Nevada's deserts are alive in ways that are easy to miss. Hardy plants cling to rocky ground. Wildlife moves quietly, adapted perfectly to survive where water is scarce and temperatures are extreme. At dawn and dusk, the land softens. Shadows stretch, colors deepen. The desert breathes. Human history here is just as layered. Long before modern settlement, indigenous peoples thrived in this region, developing deep knowledge of the land and its rhythms. Their presence is still felt in petroglyphs etched into stone, ancient trails across valleys, and stories passed through generations. These lands were never empty. They were known, respected, and lived with. As night falls, Nevada reveals one of its greatest wonders: the sky. Far from city lights, the stars explode into view. The Milky Way stretches overhead like a glowing river, reminding you how small you are and how vast the world truly is. In these moments, Nevada feels timeless, untouched by urgency or distraction. This opening chapter is not about a single landmark or destination. It is about understanding Nevada as a place of scale, silence, and strength. A land that does not try to impress, yet leaves a lasting impression on everyone who enters it. There is a moment, somewhere along the edge of Nevada's desert highways, when the land suddenly opens up and color floods the horizon. Red rock formations rise from pale earth, sculpted into curves, ridges, and waves that feel almost unreal. This is where Nevada reveals one of its most dramatic faces, a place where geology becomes art, and time is written into stone. Southern Nevada is defined by fire and pressure. Millions of years ago, volcanic eruptions, shifting tectonic plates, and relentless erosion shaped these landscapes layer by layer. Each band of color you see, deep crimson, soft pink, burnt orange, chalky white, tells a story of ancient environments, from prehistoric seas to desert dunes frozen in time. Standing here feels like stepping inside Earth's memory. As the sun rises, the rocks catch the light and ignite. Shadows stretch across sandstone walls, carving depth into every curve. The terrain feels alive, constantly changing with the movement of the sky. No two moments look the same. At midday, the colors glow boldly. By sunset, the land softens into warm golds and purples, as if the desert itself is exhaling. Walking through these formations is humbling. Towering cliffs dwarf everything beneath them, reminding you how brief human presence is compared to geological time. The wind whispers through narrow passages, smoothing edges grain by grain. Every crack and ridge is proof that even the strongest stone eventually yields not to force, but to patience. Despite the harsh conditions, life persists here. Desert plants grow low and resilient, conserving water and surviving extreme heat. Lizards dart across sun-warmed rock. Birds circle overhead, riding invisible currents of air. Survival in this landscape requires balance, adaptation, and respect for nature's rules. For centuries, indigenous peoples recognized the power of these lands. Sacred symbols were carved into stone, marking places of meaning and connection. These markings remain today, silent yet powerful reminders that long before modern travelers arrived, this desert was understood, honored, and protected by those who knew its rhythms. The scale of this environment alters perception. Distances feel deceptive. A cliff that looks close may take hours to reach. Sound travels differently here, carried softly by open space. The world slows down. The desert does not rush, and it does not allow you to rush either. As roads wind through this red rock country, each turn reveals a new composition, a natural cathedral of stone arches, towering spires, and layered cliffs that seem deliberately designed. Yet nothing here is artificial. Everything is the result of time doing exactly what time does best. When night arrives, the rocks fade into silhouette, and the sky takes over once again. Stars appear sharp and countless, framed by dark canyon walls. In this silence, surrounded by ancient stone, it becomes clear that Nevada's deserts are not empty places. They are full of history, energy, and quiet power. This chapter of Nevada is about contrast. Soft light against hard rock, stillness against motion, fragile life against unforgiving terrain. It is a reminder that beauty does not always come gently sometimes. It rises from pressure, endurance, and unimaginable spans of time. There is a place in Nevada where the land suddenly falls away, where rivers carve impossible paths through solid stone, and where silence feels heavier than sound. Here, the earth opens itself, revealing depth not just in distance, but in time itself. This is Nevada's canyon country, vast, dramatic, and quietly overwhelming. At first glance, the terrain looks harsh and unwelcoming. Jagged cliffs stretch toward the sky, their edges sharp and uncompromising. Far below, rivers wind through narrow corridors, their steady flow patiently shaping the rock walls that tower above them. These canyons were not created by violence, but by persistence, water moving in the same direction for millions of years, refusing to stop. As you stand at the rim, perspective shifts instantly. The ground beneath your feet feels small, fragile. The canyon pulls your gaze downward, layer by layer, revealing bands of color etched into stone like chapters of an ancient book. Each layer represents a different era of Earth's history, compressed into walls that seem endless. The air here feels different. Winds move through the canyon corridors, rising and falling like breath. Sounds echo softly, carried along stone walls and disappearing into distance. Even a whisper feels significant in a place this vast. Time slows, and the modern world fades away. Following the river's path reveals the true heart of these landscapes. Water is life here, not loud, not dramatic, but constant. It cuts through rock, feeds pockets of greenery, and offers refuge to wildlife. Cottonwood trees and willows gather near the banks, creating ribbons of green against the desert's muted tones. Birds nest along cliff faces. Small mammals move quietly through shaded crevices. For centuries, these canyons served as pathways and shelters for indigenous peoples. The walls protected them from wind and heat, while rivers provided sustenance and direction. Petroglyphs and stone structures remain carefully placed and deeply meaningful. These markings are not decorations, they are conversations across generations, reminders that this land has always been alive with human presence. Light transforms the canyon throughout the day. In the early morning, shadows dominate, stretching long and cool across the rock faces. By midday, sunlight floods the depths, revealing textures and colors hidden just hours before. At sunset, the walls glow softly, turning shades of amber, copper, and rose. It feels less like watching a sunset and more like witnessing a quiet ceremony. Movement through this terrain demands respect. Trails descend slowly, switchback after switchback, each step a reminder of how quickly elevation can change. From above, the canyon looks still. Inside it, the world feels immense, layered, and alive. At night, the canyon becomes something else entirely. The sky opens wide, framed by towering walls that make the stars feel closer than ever. Without city lights, constellations stretch across the darkness, reflected faintly in slow-moving water below. In this moment, the canyon feels infinite, a meeting place of earth and sky. These canyons are not meant to be conquered or rushed. They are meant to be observed, listened to, and felt. They teach patience, humility, and scale. Standing here, surrounded by stone shaped over millions of years, it becomes clear that Nevada's greatest wonders are not always the loudest or the brightest. There is a side of Nevada where the desert suddenly comes alive with color, movement, and life. A place where water appears in unexpected forms, carving sanctuaries through an otherwise arid land. This is Nevada's hidden world of lakes, springs, and wetlands, quiet miracles that reshape everything around them. From a distance, the desert looks endless and dry, stretching beneath an open sky with little promise of relief. But move closer, and the landscape begins to change. Shimmering lakes appear like mirrors laid gently across the land, reflecting clouds, mountains, and light. These bodies of water are more than scenery. They are lifelines, drawing people, animals, and entire ecosystems into their orbit. Near the water's edge, the desert softens. Reeds sway gently in the breeze. Tall grasses ripple like waves. Birds gather in astonishing numbers, their calls filling the air with sound and motion. Migratory species travel thousands of miles to rest here, finding refuge in Nevada's wetlands before continuing their journeys. In these moments, the desert feels anything but empty. Some waters emerge quietly from the earth itself. Natural springs rise from beneath layers of rock, flowing steadily year-round. The water is clear and cool, a striking contrast to the sun-warmed desert surrounding it. These springs have existed for thousands of years, shaping settlement patterns long before modern borders existed. To early inhabitants, they were sacred, dependable sources of life in a challenging land. As you move through these areas, The temperature shifts. The air feels cooler, heavier, with moisture. The scent of wet earth and vegetation replaces dust and stone. In the shade of cottonwood and willow trees, time slows. Dragonflies skim the surface of the water. Fish move in quick flashes beneath the surface. Every detail feels magnified by the contrast. Lakes nestled between mountain ranges tell a different story. Fed by snowmelt and distant storms, they change with the seasons, expanding and shrinking like living things. In spring, shorelines burst with growth. In summer, the water glows under intense sunlight, inviting quiet reflection. By autumn, the surrounding hills turn golden, and the lake becomes a calm mirror of transition. Human presence here feels lighter, more respectful. Small docks stretch into still water. Kayaks glide silently across the surface. Anglers wait patiently, listening more than watching. These places encourage stillness, a kind of peace rarely found elsewhere. Yet these waters are fragile. Every ripple, every reed, every migrating bird depends on balance. Drought, climate shifts, and human demand threaten systems that have survived for centuries. Standing beside these lakes and springs, the responsibility to protect them becomes clear. Their beauty is not guaranteed, it is borrowed. As the sun lowers, light dances across the water's surface. Reflections stretch and bend, mountains dissolving into color. The sky turns soft shades of blue and gold, and the desert cools once more. In these moments, the contrast between water and land feels poetic, a reminder that even the harshest environments hold gentleness within them. Nevada's waters do not roar like oceans or crash like waterfalls. Their power is subtle, patient, and enduring. They transform the desert not by force, but by presence. There is a moment in Nevada when the desert begins to glow, when the sun lowers and the land transforms into a canvas of fire and shadow. This is the realm of Nevada's deserts, vast, raw, and endlessly captivating. What first appears empty soon reveals itself as one of the most expressive landscapes on Earth. Stretching beyond the horizon, the desert feels infinite. Rolling plains of sand and stone blend seamlessly with distant mountain ranges, their silhouettes softened by heat and light. The ground is textured and alive, marked by cracked earth, wind-shaped dunes, and resilient plants that cling to survival with quiet determination. The desert breathes in cycles. During the day, the sun dominates everything. Light pours down relentlessly, illuminating every ridge and hollow. Colors intensify. Reds deepen, browns warm, and pale sands shimmer like gold. The heat presses down, reminding every living thing to slow its pace and conserve energy. Movement becomes deliberate, measured, respectful. Yet, life thrives here in remarkable ways. Low shrubs spread wide roots beneath the surface, drawing moisture from hidden reserves. Cacti store water within thick skins, standing tall against the sun. Lizards dart between shadows. Birds glide overhead, scanning the land with sharp focus. Each species has adapted perfectly, turning scarcity into strength. Walking through this terrain, silence feels almost physical. Sound does not echo here. It dissolves into open space. Footsteps crunch softly against gravel. The wind whispers through dry grasses. In this stillness, the mind clears. The desert has a way of stripping life down to its essentials, leaving only awareness and presence. As afternoon fades, the transformation begins. The sun sinks lower, and shadows stretch across the land. The desert cools gradually, exhaling the heat it held all day. Colors shift dramatically. Oranges turn to crimson, yellows soften into rose, and the sky becomes a vast gradient of light. This is the desert at its most cinematic. Then comes dusk. Temperatures drop quickly, and the air sharpens. Nocturnal life awakens. Coyotes call across the plains, their voices echoing through distance. Small mammals emerge cautiously. Insects hum quietly, creating a subtle rhythm beneath the stars. Night reveals the desert's greatest secret. With no city lights to interfere, the sky opens completely. Stars flood the darkness, brighter and clearer than most people have ever seen. The Milky Way stretches overhead like a luminous river. Constellations feel close enough to touch. In this moment, the desert becomes infinite in every direction, earth below, universe above. Human history is deeply woven into this land. For generations, indigenous peoples learned its rhythms, reading the stars, tracking seasonal changes, and respecting the desert's boundaries. Their understanding was not about domination, but coexistence. Even today, their presence lingers in stories, pathways, and sacred sites scattered across the land. The desert does not ask for admiration, it demands respect. It teaches patience, humility, and awareness. Those who rush through it see emptiness. Those who slow down discover beauty, layered in subtle detail. There is a side of Nevada that pulses with creativity, rhythm, and reinvention. A place where the desert becomes a stage and imagination knows no limits. This is Nevada's world of art, culture, and human expression, shaped by isolation, freedom, and an unbreakable desire to create something unforgettable. At first, the landscape seems unlikely for artistic energy. Wide open plains stretch outward, quiet and uncompromising. But within this openness lies possibility. Nevada has always attracted those who think differently: pioneers, dreamers, risk-takers, and visionaries. Here, ideas are not confined by walls or expectations. They expand, just like the land itself. In unexpected places, art rises from the desert floor. Massive sculptures stand against endless skies, their forms bold and surreal. Some look ancient, others futuristic, as if they arrived from another world. These installations are not hidden in galleries. They exist in conversation with wind, sunlight, and silence. They change with the day, shifting in color and meaning as shadows move across their surfaces. Cities and towns carry their own creative pulse. Murals bloom across building walls, telling stories of identity, resilience, and transformation. Music drifts from intimate venues, blending genres and cultures into sounds that feel uniquely Nevadan. Festivals bring people together under open skies, celebrating art not as spectacle, but as shared experience. One of Nevada's most powerful cultural elements is its sense of impermanence. Some creations are meant to disappear, built, experienced, and then released back into the desert. They challenge the idea that art must last forever to matter. Instead, meaning is found in the moment, in participation, connection, and memory. This philosophy echoes deeper traditions. Indigenous cultures have long understood the land as something to engage with respectfully, not dominate. Their songs, symbols, and ceremonies are woven into Nevada's identity, carrying wisdom passed down through generations. These expressions honor cycles, balance, and the relationship between people and place. The desert itself becomes a collaborator. Dust storms reshape installations. Sunlight transforms colors. Wind adds movement and sound. In Nevada, nature is never just a backdrop. It is an active participant in creativity. Even Nevada's most modern expressions reflect this spirit. Architecture rises with bold ambition, blending innovation with environment. Design here embraces contrasts sleek lines against rugged terrain, light cutting through shadow, motion against stillness. Everything feels intentional, expressive, alive. People drawn to this land often speak of freedom, freedom to experiment, freedom to fail, freedom to begin again. Nevada offers space not just physically, but mentally. It invites exploration without judgment, encouraging voices that might be muted elsewhere. As night falls, creativity does not fade, it intensifies. Lights glow against darkness. Music carries across open air. Conversations stretch late into the night, fueled by inspiration and possibility. Under a sky filled with stars, boundaries dissolve, and the desert becomes a shared canvas. There is a Nevada. Few expect to find a land of towering peaks, alpine air, and vast mountain ranges that rise sharply from the desert floor. Here, elevation transforms everything. Temperatures cool, vegetation thickens, and the horizon changes shape. This is Nevada's mountain world, where strength and serenity exist side by side. As the road climbs, the desert slowly loosens its grip. Sagebrush gives way to pines and aspens. The air becomes crisper, cleaner, carrying the scent of earth and stone. Snow often lingers on distant summits, even when the valleys below remain warm. These mountains feel like a different country entirely, hidden within the state's rugged heart. The ranges stretch endlessly, one after another, creating a rhythm of ascent and descent that defines Nevada's geography. From afar, they appear still and unchanging. Up close, they are alive with detail, fractured rock faces, narrow passes, and high meadows that open suddenly like secret rooms in the landscape. Walking these slopes brings a deep sense of scale. Trails wind through forests where sunlight filters softly through branches, illuminating patches of moss and wildflowers. In summer, alpine blooms add color to rocky terrain, fragile yet persistent. In autumn, aspens ignite the mountainsides in gold, their leaves trembling with every breeze. Wildlife thrives in these elevations. Deer move quietly through tree lines. Mountain goats navigate cliffs with impossible ease. Birds circle above valleys, riding invisible currents of air. Every movement feels intentional, perfectly adapted to the terrain. Higher still, the environment grows more dramatic. Trees thin out. Wind sharpens. The ground becomes rough and exposed. From these vantage points, the world opens completely. Valleys stretch far below, deserts fading into haze, mountain ranges rolling endlessly into the distance. Standing here, it feels as if Nevada reveals its true scale, vast beyond comprehension. Winter transforms these mountains into a realm of silence and endurance. Snow blankets peaks and passes, reshaping familiar trails into something entirely new. Sound softens, movement slows. The mountains demand respect, offering beauty only to those prepared to meet them on their terms. Human history in these ranges runs deep. For indigenous peoples, mountains were landmarks, seasonal homes, and sacred spaces. Later, explorers and settlers crossed these passes seeking opportunity, often unaware of the power and danger surrounding them. Old mining trails and stone remnants still trace the slopes, quiet reminders of ambition and hardship. Despite their strength, these mountains hold moments of gentleness. Hidden lakes rest between ridges, their surfaces reflecting sky and stone with perfect clarity. Streams tumble downhill, carving narrow channels through granite, feeding life far below. In these places, the mountains feel protective, almost intimate. As the sun begins to set, light changes everything. Peaks catch the last glow of day, burning briefly in shades of pink and fire before fading into blue shadow. The temperature drops quickly. The sky deepens. Stars emerge one by one, framed by jagged silhouettes. Nevada's mountains remind us that this land is not defined by a single identity. It is layered, complex, and full of contrast. Desert and forest, heat and cold, silence, and movement all coexist within the same horizon. There is a corner of Nevada where history and mystery intertwine, where the echoes of the past linger among abandoned streets, crumbling buildings, and the faint scent of old wood and dust. This is the world of Nevada's ghost towns, remnants of ambition, hope, and human endeavor that time has slowly reclaimed. These towns are silent storytellers, teaching lessons about resilience, risk, and the fleeting nature of prosperity. Nevada's history is deeply connected to mining. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, prospectors flocked to the state in search of silver, gold, and other precious minerals. Entire communities sprang up practically overnight, fueled by dreams of fortune and survival. Streets buzzed with activity, saloons rang with laughter, general stores bustled with trade, and children played beneath the harsh desert sun. But when veins ran dry or markets collapsed, towns emptied just as quickly, leaving only skeletal remains of what had once been a thriving life. Walking through these abandoned settlements is like stepping into a paused moment of history. Weathered wood leans against itself, metal roofs rust quietly under the relentless sun, and faded signs whisper the names of shops and businesses long gone. Doors creak in the wind, windows frame empty rooms, hollow shells that once held families, stories, and laughter. Every object, every building carries a memory, yet the land remains indifferent, reclaiming the space with sand, sagebrush, and time. The sense of scale in these towns is haunting. Buildings that were once centers of community now appear small and fragile against vast deserts or expansive skies. Streets that once carried the weight of human ambition now host only footprints of the few who wander here today. There is a strange intimacy in the emptiness, a feeling that, although the people are gone, their presence lingers, woven into the very soil. Some ghost towns, like Rhyolite, tell dramatic stories. Massive banks, elaborate hotels, and ornate structures were built in the hope of lasting prosperity. Yet nature and economy had other plans. Their ruins stand as monuments to ambition, innovation, and the limits of human control. In other towns, smaller structures, modest homes, and weathered cabins offer quieter stories of families, laborers, and communities trying to survive in a harsh, unpredictable environment. Time in these places feels different. Noise, modernity, and distraction fall away. The wind becomes a companion, carrying soft echoes of history. Sunlight changes the appearance of buildings, casting long shadows that seem to animate the ruins. At dawn and dusk, the ghost towns are transformed. Golden hues turn wood to amber. Shadows lengthen dramatically, and the desert seems alive with the memory of movement that no longer exists. Exploration of these areas is not only visual, but emotional. One can imagine children running through streets, miners returning at sunset, laughter and chatter filling the air. Yet there is also a sense of caution and respect. These structures are fragile, and their silence is profound. They remind visitors that human endeavors are temporary, yet they also highlight the stories and dreams that shape this land. Wildlife has returned to many of these spaces. Coyotes roam streets, small mammals burrow beneath foundations, and birds nest in empty buildings. Nature reclaims what humans abandon, blending life with memory, resilience with decay. The coexistence of abandonment and vitality creates a strange, haunting beauty. Nevada's ghost towns are more than remnants of the past. They are lessons. They speak of hope and disappointment, of the human desire to conquer and create, and of the forces both natural and economic that shape destiny. They remind us that time is relentless, and yet stories endure, etched into the land and into memory. As the sun dips below the horizon, shadows stretch across these empty streets. Colors deepen into soft golds and purples. The sky above fills with stars, vast and unbroken, offering perspective on the fleeting nature of human endeavors. In Nevada, even the ghosts leave behind wonder proof that beauty exists not only in what is alive, but also in what was, and in what memory can preserve. Nevada is often imagined as a land of extremes: deserts, mountains, ghost towns. But there is another side to this state that surprises visitors: its lakes, reservoirs, and the thriving aquatic life that quietly defines parts of the landscape. These waters are unexpected oases in a land often associated with arid expanses and sun-baked valleys. They are a testament to resilience, human ingenuity, and the hidden richness of Nevada's terrain. Lake Tahoe, straddling the border with California, is perhaps Nevada's most famous water treasure. Its pristine, sapphire waters sit in a basin carved by ancient glaciers, surrounded by mountains dusted with snow much of the year. The lake feels alive, deep, clear, and almost untouchable, reflecting skies and peaks with perfect clarity. Along its shores, pine forests stretch down to the water's edge, and trails weave through alpine meadows, inviting exploration and discovery. Every perspective offers a new panorama, a different story of light, reflection, and depth. Moving south, Lake Mead presents a contrast that tells a story of human intervention. Formed by the Hoover Dam, it is the largest reservoir in the United States, its waters sparkling under the relentless Nevada sun. The lake is both a source of life and a symbol of human engineering, supplying water and power to millions while reshaping the landscape dramatically. Shorelines reveal geological layers once hidden. Islands appear and disappear with changing levels, and canyons that once stood dry now cradle deep, glimmering waters. Water in Nevada is life in miniature. Springs bubble from rock faces in remote valleys, feeding wetlands and attracting birds, insects, and mammals. Migratory species find refuge here, relying on these pockets of hydration for survival during long flights across arid lands. Even small streams, often overlooked, carry vital energy, connecting mountains, deserts, and plains in a network of nourishment and vitality. Recreation along these waters adds another layer of wonder. Boating, kayaking, and paddleboarding transform lakes into arenas of human connection with nature. Campers and hikers find both solace and adventure, fishing quietly along hidden coves, watching the sunlight glint off rippling water. The stillness invites reflection, a rare pause in a landscape otherwise known for vast openness and harsh extremes. Nevada's water systems are not only about natural beauty, but also about adaptation. The desert climate demands careful stewardship. Fluctuating water levels, drought, and climate change constantly remind visitors that these resources are fragile. Conservation efforts, awareness, and respect for local ecology are essential to preserving these environments for future generations. As the day moves toward evening, the lakes transform once again. Sunlight scatters across ripples, painting gold and rose reflections that dance on the water's surface. The surrounding mountains are bathed in amber light, and shadows stretch long across shores and coves. Wildlife stirs, birds return to roost, fish shimmer just below the surface, and the wind carries subtle sounds of life back into the stillness. Nightfall brings a final transformation. In the absence of city lights, stars emerge in full brilliance above, still waters mirrored perfectly below. The sky and lake converge, creating a sense of infinity, as if one could step from one into the other. Silence dominates, broken only by natural sounds, the gentle lapping of waves, the distant call of an owl, or the rustle of leaves in a light breeze. Nevada's lakes, reservoirs, and streams remind us that life can flourish even in unexpected places. They are refuges of calm in a land of extremes, symbols of continuity amid change, and spaces where the natural and human worlds coexist in delicate balance. To visit them is to witness resilience in action, water shaping land, life adapting, and time unfolding quietly, but with immense presence. Nevada's story is not complete without the glittering, larger-than-life cities that rise from the desert, places where energy, ambition, and spectacle converge in ways that seem almost otherworldly. Las Vegas, Reno, and smaller urban centers stand in stark contrast to the quiet, rugged expanses of the state's wilderness, offering a glimpse into Nevada's capacity for reinvention, extravagance, and relentless creativity. Las Vegas, often called the entertainment capital of the world, is more than neon lights and casinos. It is a city built on imagination and audacity. The Strip stretches like a river of light, lined with structures that mimic Paris, Venice, and ancient civilizations. Fountains dance in perfect synchrony to music. Shows combine technology, artistry, and daring feats of human skill. In Las Vegas, every experience is amplified, colors brighter, sounds louder, and the pace faster than almost anywhere else on Earth. Yet beneath the spectacle lies a fascinating layer of human resilience. The city thrives in an environment that is inhospitable by nature. Extreme heat, limited water, and harsh desert conditions. Its growth is a testament to ingenuity, engineering, and determination. Massive aqueducts, innovative architecture, and sustainable initiatives have transformed desert sand into a living, breathing metropolis. Here, Nevada's natural extremes are both a challenge and a backdrop for achievement. Reno offers a different kind of urban wonder. Nestled near the Sierra Nevada, it balances city life with proximity to wilderness. Festivals, arts, and cultural events bring vibrancy to this smaller city, while the nearby mountains and rivers invite outdoor adventure. Reno exemplifies Nevada's duality, human creativity thriving alongside untouched landscapes, and civilization existing in harmony with nature's grandeur. Even the smaller towns scattered across the state contribute to this narrative. Carson City, Elko, and Henderson showcase local culture, history, and community, providing contrast to the larger, tourist-focused cities. Each urban center carries its own identity, shaped by geography, industry, and heritage. The interplay between city and desert is central to Nevada's story. Both sides of the state illuminate different facets of its character. Night transforms Nevada's cities into spectacles of human ingenuity. Lights stretch across the horizon, reflecting off streets, rivers, and desert sands. The energy is palpable. Music, laughter, and conversation fill the air, blending with the hum of traffic and the occasional echo of distant desert winds. It is a celebration of life, imagination, and human determination in a place that, just miles away, is defined by stillness, silence, and solitude. Cultural life thrives amidst this backdrop. Museums, galleries, and theaters preserve history while promoting contemporary expression. Culinary scenes blend international flavors with local traditions. Festivals celebrate music, film, and art, attracting visitors from across the globe. Nevada's cities are not merely entertainment hubs. They are centers of creativity, reflection, and exchange, highlighting the human capacity to transform and redefine space. The contrast between urban and natural Nevada is stark, yet complementary. The desert, mountains, lakes, and canyons provide scale, perspective, and grounding, reminding visitors that even amid brilliance and extravagance, the land's power endures. Cities may dazzle and inspire, but they exist within a larger context, a land defined by extremes, resilience, and wonder. Las Vegas, Reno, and Nevada's other cities are places of dreams both realized and imagined. They are destinations for adventure, spectacle, and human connection. Yet they also reflect the ingenuity and determination required to thrive in an environment that demands adaptability. They are living proofs that Nevada's story is one of contrasts, chaos and calm, creation and endurance, spectacle and solitude. Beyond the dazzling lights and the bustling streets of Nevada's cities, there is a subtler, almost hidden layer of the state that continues to captivate those who look closer. Neighborhoods, local markets, and cultural enclaves that reveal authentic life beyond the tourist gaze. In Las Vegas, for example, the city is not only the Strip, it is also communities where families live, traditions are preserved, and everyday life unfolds against the backdrop of neon dreams. Walking through these areas, one senses the pulse of real Nevada, resilient, diverse, and full of stories waiting to be discovered. The streets hum with energy, though different from the spectacle-filled avenues of entertainment districts. Local cafes serve as gathering points, where conversations drift between generations and people exchange news, ideas, and laughter. Small businesses thrive, reflecting the personalities of those who have called Nevada home for decades. From artisans crafting unique goods to musicians performing on quiet corners, creativity permeates daily life, even far from the tourist spotlight. Cultural festivals and community events are essential threads in this urban fabric. Seasonal celebrations, heritage parades, and public gatherings highlight the diverse backgrounds that converge in Nevada. From Native American traditions to immigrant communities bringing their heritage from across the world, the state's cities embody a rich tapestry of human experience. Here, tradition and modernity coexist, creating a sense of continuity in a land often perceived as transient or ephemeral. The natural landscape continues to shape life even within city limits. Urban parks, riverfronts, and nearby desert preserves allow residents and visitors alike to connect with Nevada's vast wilderness without leaving the city. Hiking trails in the outskirts of Reno, for instance, lead to panoramic vistas of mountains and valleys, reminding city dwellers that beyond the glittering streets lies a raw, untamed world. These spaces offer reflection, exercise, and the sense of scale that only Nevada's wide-open lands can provide. Transportation networks bridge the state's contrasts. Highways carve paths through deserts and mountains, linking remote towns with bustling metropolises. Scenic drives reveal layers of geography and history, from dry lake beds and salt flats to abandoned mining towns. Each turn in the road tells a story of human ambition meeting natural forces. Travelers experience Nevada not only through cities but also through these transitional spaces, where solitude and discovery combine. Water remains a constant and surprising force, even in urban life. Reservoirs, rivers, and fountains provide aesthetic, recreational, and practical significance. Lake Mead, for instance, is both a water source and a destination for boating, fishing, and relaxation. Smaller urban lakes and ponds offer places to gather, reflect, and engage with nature amid concrete and steel. In Nevada, water is always precious, whether flowing through remote valleys or forming the centerpiece of a bustling city park. Education, arts, and innovation thrive in these urban centers. Museums, theaters, and galleries showcase both history and contemporary creativity, while universities and research institutions drive technology, sustainability, and cultural dialogue. Nevada's cities act as hubs of knowledge, linking tradition with modern progress, and providing residents with opportunities to contribute meaningfully to both local and global narratives. As evening approaches, cityscapes shift once again. Neon signs, LED displays, and architectural lighting transform streets into luminous corridors. The desert sun fades, leaving behind cool air, subtle scents, and an ambience that blends excitement with tranquility. Rooftop viewpoints offer panoramas of urban grids set against distant mountains, illustrating the striking contrast between natural and human-made environments. Nighttime reveals the duality of Nevada's cities. On one hand, there is the famous spectacle of entertainment, vibrant and unrestrained. On the other, there is the quieter rhythm of neighborhoods, where families, workers, and dreamers live their lives beyond the neon glow. Both layers are essential to understanding the state, one showcasing aspiration and boldness, the other grounding it in reality, culture, and community. In reflecting on Nevada's urban landscapes, it becomes clear that the state's magic does not reside solely in wilderness, canyons, or mountains. It is equally alive in the spaces where people build, create, and connect, where imagination meets resilience, and daily life becomes a story of human ingenuity within extreme surroundings. Nevada's cities, therefore, are both destination and lens a window into the interaction between humanity and a land defined by extremes, contrast, and enduring beauty. Beyond the iconic Strip of Las Vegas or the entertainment hubs of Reno, life in these urban centers unfolds in subtle, meaningful ways that reflect the resilience, adaptability, and creativity of their residents. Walking through local neighborhoods, one discovers bakeries where recipes have been passed down for generations, art studios where ideas are shaped in vibrant color, and community gardens that thrive against the desert's harsh climate. These pockets of life illustrate how people have learned not only to survive, but to flourish in a land that demands both ingenuity and perseverance. In every corner of Nevada's cities, there is evidence of history interwoven with modernity. Buildings from the early 20th century stand beside contemporary architectural marvels, telling a story of growth, change, and the ongoing dialogue between past and present. Cultural institutions preserve the narratives of indigenous communities, early settlers, and immigrants, highlighting the diversity and richness of the state's population. Museums, theaters, and galleries serve as hubs of expression, offering residents and visitors alike opportunities to engage with art, music, and performance that reflect the heart of Nevada's identity. Public spaces, parks, plazas, and riverside walkways provide vital connection points between urban life and the natural environment. In Las Vegas, for instance, trails and open spaces weave into the outskirts of the city, offering glimpses of surrounding mountains, desert plains, and even hidden springs. In Reno, riverwalks and lakes provide respite from urban intensity, creating spaces for reflection, exercise, and community gatherings. These environments remind residents that, even in a city pulsing with activity, the desert's presence remains constant, shaping experience and perspective. Nevada's cities are also centers of innovation. Technology, education, and sustainable practices are increasingly integrated into urban planning and development. Renewable energy initiatives, water conservation programs, and forward-thinking architecture highlight a unique blend of practicality and vision, an understanding that urban growth must coexist with the limitations and opportunities of the surrounding environment. Here, creativity is not limited to entertainment or art. It extends into infrastructure, design, and civic life, reflecting the adaptive spirit that defines the state. Nighttime transforms Nevada's urban landscapes in ways both dramatic and subtle. Neon lights ignite streets, illuminating avenues with color and energy, while quieter neighborhoods take on a reflective stillness under star-studded skies. Music, conversation, and the soft hum of traffic mingle with the sounds of nature at the city's edges: coyotes calling in distant canyons, the rustle of desert wind, and the faint shimmer of lakes reflecting moonlight. This duality, vibrant spectacle, alongside serene natural presence, embodies Nevada's essence, a state where extremes coexist in harmony. The cities themselves serve as gateways to the state's broader wonders. From urban centers, visitors can access deserts, mountains, lakes, and historical sites, creating a dynamic interplay between exploration and habitation. Each city offers both a base and a vantage point, allowing travelers to experience Nevada's contrasts fully: the human-crafted alongside the untamed, the lively alongside the silent, the ephemeral alongside the enduring. Education, community initiatives, and cultural festivals further enrich urban life. Schools, universities, and cultural centers encourage learning, creativity, and cross-cultural exchange, fostering a generation attuned to both tradition and innovation. Festivals celebrate music, art, film, and heritage, bringing together diverse communities and highlighting Nevada's identity as a place of convergence, possibility, and expression. These events provide rhythm and cohesion to the urban landscape, linking people with one another and with the stories of the state itself. Nevada's urban areas also reveal resilience in the face of environmental and social challenges. Water scarcity, desert climate, and rapid development require careful planning and adaptation. Communities respond with creativity, conservation, and determination, turning limitations into opportunities. The result is a remarkable balance, a human presence that thrives without completely overshadowing the land, maintaining respect for the environment while fostering progress and cultural vibrancy. As dawn approaches and the first light touches the city streets, the cycle of energy begins again. The day offers new possibilities, new experiences, and new perspectives. Whether in the quiet rhythm of a neighborhood morning or the bustling preparation for entertainment, commerce, and adventure, Nevada's cities, in all their complexity, are living reflections of the state itself: bold, resilient, diverse, and endlessly fascinating. Nevada's urban landscapes, while dazzling and dynamic, are ultimately inseparable from the larger environment that surrounds them. From the neon-lit streets of Las Vegas to the cultural hubs of Reno, these cities exist in a delicate balance with the deserts, mountains, and lakes that define the state. Understanding this relationship is key to appreciating Nevada's full story. A narrative of contrasts, adaptation, and unexpected harmony. In Las Vegas, the Strip dominates perception, but the city's neighborhoods reveal an intimate side of urban life. Streets lined with modest homes, local markets, and family-run restaurants provide a window into the everyday experiences of residents. Here, cultural heritage, tradition, and community thrive, offering a grounded perspective amid the city's legendary spectacle. The juxtaposition of extraordinary and ordinary life illustrates a unique duality: Nevada's ability to host both imagination and reality, fantasy and routine, within a single horizon. Public spaces in Nevada's cities act as bridges between human habitation and the natural environment. Parks, riverfront paths, and recreational areas provide opportunities for residents and visitors to engage with nature without leaving the urban grid. In Reno, trails along the Truckee River lead to unexpected vistas of mountains and forests, while urban gardens and green spaces offer microcosms of life flourishing amidst concrete and asphalt. These spaces not only enhance quality of life, but also reinforce the enduring presence of the land within city boundaries. Water, always precious in Nevada, plays a critical role in shaping urban life. Reservoirs, lakes, and carefully managed rivers provide both sustenance and aesthetic beauty. Lake Mead, a monumental example of human engineering, transforms arid terrain into a functional and recreational resource. Within cities, fountains, ponds, and artificial lakes reflect sunlight, offer cooling effects, and create serene oases in otherwise hot and arid landscapes. In every case, Nevada demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of the interplay between scarcity, necessity, and beauty. Culture thrives in urban Nevada, highlighting the state's diversity and vibrancy. Museums, art galleries, theaters, and music venues showcase creativity ranging from indigenous heritage to contemporary innovation. Community festivals celebrate cultural convergence, drawing locals and visitors together in shared experiences of art, food, and performance. These events illustrate Nevada's ability to honor the past while embracing modernity, creating a dynamic environment where creativity and history coexist. The economy of Nevada's cities underscores adaptability and resilience. Beyond entertainment and tourism, industries like technology, renewable energy, and logistics thrive, often integrating solutions tailored to the desert environment. Solar energy farms, water conservation programs, and urban planning strategies demonstrate that growth and sustainability can coexist, and that the state's cities are laboratories of innovation, responding to unique environmental challenges. Nightfall transforms urban Nevada into a spectacle of light and motion. Yet this is also a time for reflection. The contrast between the luminous energy of Las Vegas and the quiet neighborhoods beyond it highlights the duality of urban life: excitement and tranquility, public spectacle and private existence. From rooftops, one can see distant mountains silhouetted against starlit skies, a reminder that even amidst human ingenuity, the natural world remains omnipresent, shaping experience and perspective. Human stories infuse Nevada's cities with meaning. Residents, entrepreneurs, artists, and educators contribute to a social fabric that is rich, diverse, and resilient. Immigrant communities preserve traditions while embracing new opportunities. Indigenous populations maintain a deep connection to ancestral lands, influencing cultural practices and urban planning decisions. In this interplay between human agency and environment, Nevada's cities reveal depth and complexity beyond what first meets the eye. Transportation and connectivity further integrate urban life with the broader state. Highways, scenic byways, and transit networks link cities with mountains, deserts, and lakes, creating access points to both recreation and reflection. Journeys through these corridors highlight the state's diversity. Abandoned mining towns, hidden springs, and dramatic geological formations remind travelers of the larger context in which these vibrant urban centers exist. In conclusion, Nevada's cities are living expressions of the state's capacity for creativity, adaptation, and coexistence with nature. They are arenas of ambition and imagination, but also spaces of reflection, tradition, and community. Urban life in Nevada is inseparable from the surrounding deserts, mountains, and waterways, forming a tapestry in which human achievement and natural grandeur are intertwined. The final lesson of urban Nevada is clear. Wonder is not limited to untouched wilderness or dramatic landscapes. It thrives equally in the streets, neighborhoods, and cultural spaces where people create, innovate, and connect. Nevada's cities, in harmony with the land, embody the full spectrum of the state's extraordinary character: bold, resilient, beautiful, and endlessly inspiring. They stand as a testament to what can emerge when human imagination meets the challenges and gifts of a remarkable environment, completing the journey through a land that never ceases to astonish. As the sun sets over the desert and the city lights rise to meet the stars, Nevada leaves its mark on every traveler, a state where nature's grandeur meets human imagination, where silence and spectacle coexist, and where every corner tells a story of resilience, beauty, and possibility. From deserts and mountains to lakes and cities, Nevada is more than a destination. It is an experience that inspires awe, sparks curiosity, and reminds us of the boundless wonders our world holds. This is Nevada, unforgettable, unyielding, and endlessly captivating. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels, and see you in the next video.